Are you stuck trying to decide whether to run a general store, a niche store, or one product store when you're starting your dropshipping business? Well, in today's video, I want to settle that debate once and for all. So I'm gonna break down for you all the pros and all the cons of running a general store, a niche store, or a one product store. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna tell you exactly what model that you should use to maximize your profits and get as much success as possible with dropshipping in 2025. So if you've ever wondered how all these gurus that you see online on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok and how they make all this money, well, this is the exact video for you. Now, before we get further in the video, let me just introduce myself if you're new to the channel. My name is Rasmus. I run a marketing agency and then I launch and scale dropshipping stores with my business partner, where we scale them up and then we sell them to random strangers on the internet. If you get any value from this video, I'd highly appreciate it if you just hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That will massively help me out. And if you have any questions throughout this video, just leave them down below as a comment and I'll be happy to respond to anything you might have a question to. Now, with that being said, let's get straight into it. So first things first, let's just clarify these three business models and how they actually work. So first of all, you have the one product store. A one product store essentially is you just trying to single in on one winning product. So you're taking away all the fluff and you're just doubling down on what you think will convert. Next up, we have the complete opposite. So that's a general store. Here, you're literally trying to sell everything to everyone. Think of it as like a mini Amazon. So you're selling everything from kitchen gadgets to books to clothes, you name it. You can literally sell everything with a general store. And then lastly, we have the niche store. That's sort of the middle ground between the two. So you're selling a few different items or a lot of different items, but in one specific niche. So think of it as like you have a beauty brand, for example, in the beauty niche, and you're selling a bunch of different beauty products to that specific audience or that specific industry. So which one of these models are the best one to run in 2025 to get as much success as possible? Well, let me break down all the pros and cons for you. So first off, let's just talk about the one product store. What are the pros and cons of this? Well, the first pro that you have is that you have a very clear brand identity. Because you just have one product, you can center your entire brand and messaging around that one product. And when you do that, it makes it very, very easy for customers to understand and know exactly what you're trying to sell them and what you're about. The next benefit is that it's very easy to market. So because you just have one product, you can very easily nail down the video that works, the copy, and the landing page. That's all you have to think about. And if you can dial those three things in, well, you can easily scale it from 0 to multiple six figures a month just with that one product alone. And lastly, because you just have one product, it makes it much more simple for you as well. You don't have to deal with multiple different landing pages. You don't have to deal with multiple different suppliers. You just have to deal with one supplier and one product, and it makes everything much easier for you in terms of headaches. Now, there's also some cons to running a one product store. First of all, it's very, very high risk. Because you don't have multiple different products, you're just essentially doubling down on what you think will be a winner. And so it's either like a boom or a bust for you. Either will go very, very well, or you'll make virtually zero money at all. And because you just have one product, you're also limited in terms of your upsells, and you're not really gonna have a chance to increase your average order value. Now, sure, there's some tricks around it that you can use, but for the most part, if you just have one product compared to say 10, 100, or 1,000, well, your average order value is not gonna benefit from having all these different upsells you can have on a general or niche store, because you simply just don't have that with a one product store. And lastly, it requires a winning product to get this to work. If your product is not truly special and it doesn't cover the three things you need in a winning product, so having a wow factor, making sure it actually solves a problem, and having a high perceived value, well, you're not gonna get anywhere, and you're just gonna flatline the entire way, and you're gonna just waste money on ads. And so having a one product store is really just a high risk, high reward game, essentially. Now let's look at the complete opposite, the general store. So with a general store, as I said, you have multiple different products and multiple different product categories. So one of the benefits you get from here is that you have a ton of variety. You can sell a bunch of different things to a bunch of different people. This means that for each new product test that you want to run, you don't have to make a completely new store and a new landing page. You just redirect people to a different link. Also, because you sell so many different products in so many different categories, you can appeal to a much broader audience, and you can try out a bunch of different interests that you normally can't do on a niche or a one product store. And also, your upsells and cross sells opportunities are going to be amazing. Because you have so many different items that you can sell to people, kind of like a mini Amazon if you think about it, well, your chance of increasing your AOV is going to be through the roof. So if you're, for example, running ads to one single product that's worth $50, but you have 1,000 different things that you can upsell people, well, it's going to be much easier for you to increase your average order value from 50 to say 70, 80, or $90. And those upsells are literally free revenue and free profit in your pocket. Now, having a general store also comes with its own sets of problems. First of all, branding is a mess, because if you sell everything to everybody, well, no one's gonna really know what you're about and who you're trying to talk to, and so that can confuse some customers coming to your site. Also, because you have so many different products, well, your marketing is gonna be super complex, so you'll have to just cycle through a bunch of different products, and for each single product, you're gonna need new images, new videos, new copy, likely tweak the landing page, different emails, and there's so much complexity in terms of just the marketing aspect of it that it can be a little bit daunting, to be honest. And lastly, site navigation is also going to be an issue, most likely, if you have a ton of products. So if you have, like, say 100 different product categories, well, customers are going to be pretty confused if they come onto your website, and that if they're confused, they're going to be overwhelmed and they're just going to bounce right off your page. So let's move on to the middle ground here, the niche store. So the first benefit that you'll see from a niche store is that you can become the sort of go-to brand in that niche. And so you're not restricting yourself to having one single product like in a one product store, but also you still can have a brand identity that you can't have with a general store. So you can think of this as kind of being like Nike or any really sort of big normal e-commerce brand that you would think of that's not dropshipping. Usually they will be in some sort of niche, but they will have a variety of product selection that you can buy from. Also, you have a lot of upsell potential that will also be very relevant to your customers. So let's say you have a coffee brand, right? And your main product is selling beans or coffee grinders or something. Well, when they go to check out, it's very easy for you to set up some upsells and cross sells that are directly related to what they're trying to buy. So if they're trying to buy a coffee grinder, well, you can upsell them on beans, maybe filters or mugs, right? So you have very, very clear direction on what to upsell them, and that will likely increase the chance of you increasing your AOV. And then the last benefit you have is that you have a strong foundation for building a community. So think about Nike, for example. They're a niche store, essentially selling very specific things to a specific audience, and their whole messaging around it is that you need to work harder, right? And so through cultivating a community, you can increase your lifetime value and you can create a rally behind your brand, meaning that over time, you'll likely grow organically too. So you don't have to rely on paid ads, for example, but you can get into word of mouth, for example, for your e-com brand. Now, having a niche store isn't all just sunshine and rainbows. It also comes with its own set of issues. First of all, is that you can run into the issue of having an audience that's just too limited. So if you dive into a niche that's just super random and super weird that no one is actually interested in, for example, you sell sweaters, with a branding around parrots or something, birds. Well, there's probably not a ton of people that are actually super interested in that. And so you're not gonna have a very big market opportunity to actually make money. Also, you'll have some moderate complexity issues in your business because you're gonna have multiple different products. You need to figure out which of these products are actually working well and which one can I advertise successfully. And so again, you're running into the issue of having to create multiple different videos, images, copy, landing pages, and you need to make sure that everything is very branded. And so it's a very large upfront investment in terms of time to figure out what actually works. And the last issue you'll run into is competition. So if you don't go into a niche that's too limited, you're likely gonna end up in a niche that's just too crowded, like beauty or fitness or something like that, apparel. It's a very, very common thing, jewelry, for example. And the issues with these industries is that you're gonna be competing against billion-dollar brands. And so you need to figure out a way for you to stand out, and that's gonna be super difficult for you. And so if you don't have a very unique selling point or very, very different brand identity compared to other brands, you're probably gonna run out of money before you see any sort of traction. So before I reveal to you what store model you should use in 2025 to get the most success, leave a comment down below and tell me which store model you're leaning more towards right now, and give me your thoughts on it. I'll be very curious to hear what you're thinking. So let's get to the big reveal. What dropshipping model should you use in 2025? In my opinion, you should be using a one product store all the time. In my opinion, it literally beats everything else. First of all, it's very easy to test, meaning you don't have to create a bunch of different images, videos, headlines, and ad copy for it. You don't have to create a bunch of different landing pages for each individual product, and you don't have to cycle through a bunch of different products. Also, you can center your entire branding around that one product that you're trying to sell, meaning you're not going to be leaving customers confused when they go onto your website, and the buying process for them is also going to be much simpler. On top of that, you have way less headaches to deal with because you don't have to spend thousands of dollars trying to test different products, and you don't have to deal with a ton of different suppliers, different cost of goods sold, and like there's just the amount of headaches that you're going to run into with a niche or general store is going to be way higher than just having a one product store. The only major issue you have with a one product store is finding the product, right? It's a high risk, high reward game. But if you're using my proven method for finding winning products, and if you haven't seen, I actually have a video on it on YouTube that you can go see right now. If you just use that method, you're gonna increase your likelihood of finding a winning product by manifold. Meaning that when you actually go to start a new store with one single product, your chance of success is gonna be way higher. And independently, if you have a one product store, niche store, or general store, there is gonna be one product that does the heavy lifting. I've even seen this in my marketing agency, niche stores having, 10 different products. There's gonna be one product that is responsible for like 70, 80, 90% of the revenue. The rest is just there for upsells, really. And so you just cut down the timeline between testing and finding a winning product by having a one product store and actually doing the research up front versus having a general or niche store and just trying a bunch of different shit and throwing shit on the wall. And lastly, when you go to sell the store, it's gonna be much easier for you to offload that. There's just gonna be one ad account, a few videos, a few images, and one single Shopify login with one single supplier connected to it. And so that's gonna be way easier for you to also pass it on to someone else. So guys, that's it for today's video. If you found some value in it, I would highly appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. That will massively help me out. And if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll be happy to answer. Also, if you're getting started with your dropshipping journey or you're already started but you can't seem to find success, I have a private one-to-one live mentorship that you can apply for. If you want more information on that, I have a link in the description where you can just fill out a quick form and then book a call with me. So if you're looking to take your dropshipping results to the next level in 2025, book a call with me and we'll go through how I can help you. But that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.